Hi, I'm Roz.
And I'm Greta, and we are here to share with you today some suggestions for your summer reading, some new books which you might be interested in, which we have enjoyed greatly.
Oh yes, definitely. We got some thrillers, some romance, some true stories, all kinds of different inspirational stories as well. But we got some great books to throw at you today. Not literally, but we are going to give you some good ideas for your summer reading.
Yeah.
So here we go. First off, we have Horns of the Devil by Marc Greene. And this book is a government thriller. All right, so check out some government action. What we have is the ambassador's son. His body is found beheaded in front of the ambassador's embassy. Yes, and so we bring in a federal prosecutor, of course, someone who's professional and knows what they're doing when it comes to that kind of stuff. And we think the government is behind it. We think there's some type of political twist, but really we find there is a gang in El Salvador that has it out for a few people. So we see the twist there, how I guess you could say common people and political people intersect, and we see them collide in ways we never thought of before. So if you're looking for a real thriller, check out Horns of the Devil by Marc Greene.
And if fiction and thrillers is not your thing, a whole different idea would be a memoir by Annemarie Duparc called What Will Not Kill You. It's a tale of resilience. This woman's first part of her life was filled with abuse and depression, sleep disorders. She struggled with cancer and other illnesses. She changed careers repeatedly. And through all of this, she has maintained this sense of humor. Reading it, it's like some things that are really challenging, which could cause a person to really kind of lose track of themselves, but she just tells it with such a sense of humor. I was really kind of enjoying the little details, even though they were tragic. It was just the way they have made her who she is today is really lovely. This is available on Amazon, so check out What Will Not Kill You by Annemarie Duparc.
And next we have another thing that's based on a true story. It's called White Thirst by Anka. And watch out, April 8th, 2014, the paperback edition does come out.
Oh,
so
nice.
Get ready for it. And it takes place in 1979 with the dominance of the Soviet Union in Romania. We have two young men who escape Romania to a refugee camp.
Okay.
But are they safe there? We would like to think yes, a refugee camp.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a place where you can be safe and not worry about trouble or anyone attacking. But we don't know if that's so true in this story, as well as we don't know if that about the present day, because we have refugee camps today, and it is very relevant because who knows what really goes on there. There's a lot of stories, different kinds of stories, and we'd like to think it's a place of refuge and safety, but we'll have to see. And plus they're young men, so they're impressionable, and they've got the strength of young men, the emotional strength, but that gets tested. So if you're really looking for a good inspirational story that brings in a different side of different countries and war, check out White Thirst by Anka.
Another true story, or rather based on a true story, is the Starlight Club by Corso. And this is the inside scoop on some of the mafia families in the 1960s. It's full of little seedy understories that were happening as these families were sort of warring with one another. And like I said, it's based on a true story, but the names have been changed. I think you can still tell it's really based on a true story though, because the characters are drawn so colorfully. The way they speak, the way they move, all the descriptions of these people is so specific. You can tell that there were real people behind them. And it's an easy read. It's fun. It'd be great for summer reading. You could have a little mafia thrill while you're sitting by the pool.
Good. I like it when it's real and the dialogue is rich and you can tell it came from a real person.
I do too. Good. Really cool. The Starlight Club by Corso.
And next we have Las by Luis Gonzalez. And this contains a time when the Cuban exodus of 1994 was going on, which was very recent, 20 years ago, so to speak. So pretty relevant to what's going on today. And they're probably still even recovering from what happened then, which is a part of their story. So our young heroine named Clara, she is trying to escape and get out from under Castro's regime and find freedom that is elsewhere in the world. But as she's trying to escape, she comes in contact with a being that is mysterious, and we don't know if it's human or not, okay? But this contact with this creature does make her have to make a life-altering decision. And we see sacrifice and discovery within that life-altering decision, which is always great to see, because what do people give up in order to obtain freedom like this? And what do they discover about themselves as they're obtaining freedom? You know, it's a test of self, I guess you could say.
Absolutely.
Because we like to know what we would do in situations, or what we think we would do, but when the stakes are that high, that's when it really matters. And that's when we see, okay, how much does freedom really cost an individual? So yes, check out Luz by Luis Gonzalez.
And that kind of makes me think of Full Bloom by Marc Greene, which is a whole different story of freedom. This is a memoir of a man suffering with bipolar disorder. And there are so many people who struggle with mental illness, who go through their life with this thing that we can't see. So many times if there's something wrong with your body, people can see it and they have sympathy. But he's telling the story from the inside of struggling with mental illness. And I think one of the really nice things about this is that he doesn't claim to be free from it. He doesn't claim to be totally healthy, but he does claim that he's getting better, getting healthy, and really has relied a lot on family and friends to get to that point in his life. And so if you are someone who struggles with mental illness, or like so many of us have a friend or family member who does, this is a really inspiring tale of finding that freedom from within. If you check out the Facebook page for Full Bloom by Marc Greene, it has some really lovely personal comments from people who have found inspiration in this book.
That's great, when you can just see someone who is like you or going through something like you, and see their decisions and see what their outcome is, you know, because the struggle is real.
Absolutely.
So, yes. All right, next we have Iron Shinto by Tricia, Stewart, Shiu. And this is a part of what is called the MOA series. And it is, I believe, the final book in that series. And it's about 3 sisters who save the Hawaiian Islands. And then they go on to Egypt. And yes, they're human. But while they're over in Egypt, they have this outer body experience that leads them to become supernatural beings. And they are in contact with this ethereal spirit that is mysterious, and everything becomes supernatural. So they're no longer human anymore, and they are spirits, and we get to see what that is like. And they do unravel the universal secret of immortality.
Wow.
Which we all would like to know what that secret is, and how can we live forever, and what does that entail? So I would suggest reading Iron Shinto by Tricia, Stewart, Shiu if you really want to see some mysteriousness in supernatural situations, and really just see what's going on in the world that is not human.
Yeah, and I love that it's a story of sisters. I have sisters and I love sister adventures.
Yes.
That sounds fantastic. Another story that kind of talks about family relations is Comes a Soldier's Whisper, which is a collection of love stories compiled by Jenny Sala. These were letters written between lovers during World War II. The soldier is 101st Airborne, jumping out of planes, living a really dangerous existence, and giving up so much of himself for us, really, for America, for freedom, for the things we believe in. And it's full of these beautiful, intimate moments that you would share with somebody that you care about, even when you're far away. And I think this is a really lovely tale, inspiring for people nowadays, veterans and soldiers and their families. I think we sometimes forget about how much sacrifice the people who stay behind make as well, to know that your loved one is fighting for our country, and the only way you can communicate with them is really through letters and emails and brief phone calls. And for anyone living in that situation, or anyone who knows someone like that, or if you're just interested in, you know, World War II, this is a really great tale. You can check out some more information about it on the website, comesasoldierwhisper.com. Again, these are letters compiled by Jenny Sala. Great.
It's great to see letters, because then it's a different take than a narrative or anything else. So great. Letters make it real. And the last one is Liberty's Torch by Janet McNulty, and this is the final book in what is called the Dystopia trilogy. So we have a wanderer, and who isn't a wanderer these days, and her name is Dana, and she discovers a crashed drone within dystopia. And she also finds out that the government there is eliminating dissenters and killing people off, and so many bad things are happening just under the table, and she has to find a way to set her people free from this oppression. And we see what price is she actually willing to pay for that freedom for her family and friends, because we care about our family and friends so much, and they mean a lot to us, but whenever we have conflict or something that is against us, what price do we really pay? You know, how far can we really go? How far can one individual really go to set people free and to overcome a government, you know, which has a lot of power. So check out Liberty's Torch by Janet McNulty. And thank you so much for joining us today. We really hope you go out and check out these books. They're interesting, they're great, they're challenging. Yes, very inspiring. So check them out. I'm Roz.
And I'm Greta. Thank you.